here.
Right. And by the way, people say, why does President Trump keep talking about Hillary Clinton? There's an argument could be made there. But if you flip it around, Hillary Clinton never stops talking about this election and what happened leading up to it, blaming everybody except her own actions, including Comey, and wanting this investigation when clearly she has some problems that have to be looked into. Hey, you guys are relentless. Tom Fitton, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Joel Payne has a different view. He's a Democratic strategist and former director of African-American advertising for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. So, are you curious at all about what's on that, what's in those emails?
This is just a nothing burger, Brian. I can't believe you guys have spent $30 million, you guys being Judicial Watch and all these other conservative activists that have been going after Hillary Clinton for years. $30 million chasing a ghost on Hillary Clinton, chasing something that doesn't exist. Now you've drug her former aide into this. You've drug her family. You've put out misleading information about her family, about cousins and whatnot.
Go ahead, tell me what's
really
misleading,
don't quite
Joel.
understand.
Joe, I could understand how you don't want to bring it up, and I respect that. But could you tell me what's misleading about her cousin going to jail, about erroneous emails, about a jury finding him guilty? What's misleading about the anti-American newspaper that she used to co-edit?
Let's go through and name what every one of your cousins, aunts and uncles and whatnot have done over the last couple of years. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous argument, and that's the type of equivalency that makes people disbelieve the information that comes from this network.
Joel, what's erroneous about it?
Well, what's erroneous is it having any link to Huma Abedin. It has no link to her whatsoever. It's her cousin. I've got cousins who do things that I don't agree with either. Does that mean that I'm responsible for their actions? The bottom line is here, you're trying to distract from this president what he's doing in terms of distracting from the Russian investigation. This is a very smart ruse, by the way, by conservative activists and Fox News, the network, to try to, treat this as top news story for the first 15 minutes of your show. It's not. You're trying to confuse the American people. You're trying to confuse your viewers.
Joel,
this is a non-story. It's been litigated.
I respect that you don't like our rundown, and I'm sure I won't like a rundown if you put together. I might not like the order in which you do it. Believe it or not, we are covering some of the Russia investigation. If you would tune in, I will provide a copy for your home use a little bit later. Coming up in the C block, I'll show you. Okay? It's a C block. It's about 20 minutes after. But just focusing on this. The #1 story in America last year in late October, the #1 reason that Hillary Clinton gives that she lost was the fact that these emails were found on her chief of staff's husband, who's in jail for a reason, we'll go into that at a different time, was found on a laptop at home. So State Department things, at least 6 of which were classified material. This is a job interview, a year-long job interview. She's favored to win in almost every poll, in almost every battleground state. And then we see the way she acts in the slipshod way in which she's handling classified information. The #1 reason why she claims she lost. And now for the first time, those emails are exposed. So this would even help you, Joel, go through it and say, look, I went through 2,800 pages, there's nothing here. Or you go through it and say, wow, there is a lot here. So it is newsworthy in almost anyone's newsroom. I don't know what is not newsworthy about this. What Hillary Clinton claims is the single greatest reason why she lost.
Yes, it's not newsworthy for you to be chasing a private citizen who had another private citizen working for her for something that's been litigated by the FBI. By the way, your last guest doesn't think the FBI, I think he wants the FBI to be disassembled. I think that's what he said. I think he said that the FBI, Tom Fitton said that the FBI
He's disappointed like a lot of people. In some of the actions of the deputy director.
We think the FBI is a tool of the Democratic Party. Brian, is that your opinion on this? The FBI is infiltrated by Clinton Democrats? Give me a break.
Joel, I think for one thing, I think you pointed out, you give me a chance to separate. The rank and file of the FBI, I've had a chance to spend a great deal of time with. And there's about 35,000 in the country. To think that there's anything...
You've met all 35,000
No, I
of
said
them?
there's
That's
about
impressive,
35.
Brian.
Well, thank you. And if I did meet them, I would share their names with you. But most of those I've met, there's about 35,000 in the country. I'd say 99% are doing things on a regular basis that are extraordinary, not for fame, not for fortune, not for a pat on the back. I get it. Not for their pensions, because they believe in this country. However, if you're trying to find out how an investigation is progressing, what is behind it, why certain people are being investigated and why others, you have to find out who's doing the investigating. And upon further review, we're finding some disturbing things that are being unmasked. So I
Yeah,
think
Jim
that is
Comey and Bob
newsworthy.
Mueller, Jim Comey and Bob Mueller, who were George W. Bush's FBI team, yes, they were coordinating with the Clinton campaign to defeat Donald Trump.
Oh,
that
great,
sounds like
great
a
point.
really
So
reasonable, believable,
let me ask you,
believable
do you
argument.
like what James Comey did with Hillary Clinton's emails?
Of course not. I disagree with it, but I didn't think he called
so
for
do
being
you think
fired.
it's not right?
I disagreed with him. I reacted like a normal person.
If I disagree with something Andy McCabe did, if I disagree with something Peter Strzok did, if I disagree with something that Bruce Orr working with Justice did, am I being critical of an entire bureau? Am I being critical of the entire Justice Department? Or am I saying, I don't like these actions? They seem to have a political motivation. And if I want to find out where an investigation's going, I have to find out who's doing it. To me, those are logical questions, Joel, that you would be asking too.
Well, all due respect, Brian, I'm more concerned with our commander-in-chief and how he feels about this. He spent the last week before Christmas, going into Christmas holiday, tearing apart the career of Andy McCabe, who, by the way, has spent the last 20 years fighting terrorists, doing things that your network purports to care about. So, yeah, that's what your president believes in. So I'm more worried about what he thinks and not what you think. 7.5
hours behind closed doors. So disturbing was it, the guy's rushing to retirement. That's newsworthy. Thanks, Joel, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, straight ahead. Senator Lindsey Graham is becoming one of the president's allies in the Senate. He'll be here next to weigh in on the Trump dossier and so much more from Clemson, South Carolina, where I believe they have a very good football team.